Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away. No. I'll call her, right? Wait, why does my face look like that?
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away.
back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
And welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
Midterms are upon Auburn students and fall break is so close I can taste it. However, most Auburn students will be back on the plains by Saturday. While you may be thinking it's to study for those midterms, sorry Mom and Dad, it's for the Georgia game. I don't want to spoil too much on that though because we'll be diving into all those details later tonight. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Kitty Diamond.
And I'm Brooks Crew, and with a bye week behind us, we thought we should prep you on the ins and outs of preseason play for the men's basketball team. Kitty, I hear you have some good news to tell the people.
I didn't break the news, Brooks, but when Auburn held Pro Day, many answers followed.
We warned you that players had a 30-day window to enter the transfer portal after legendary Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl retired, but Auburn fans, there's no reason to fear because Stephen Pearl announced the entire team will be staying on the plains.
Pearl commented, "We want guys that want to be here," and understandably, everybody wants to be here. During Pro Day, there were eyes from many NBA franchises taking notes last Wednesday in Neville Arena.
To no surprise, the team absolutely balled out. Freshman point guard Caden Magwood was just one of the players to stand out in front of scouts, making 5 of his 6 shots while distributing 4 assists and only 1 turnover.
We are excited to see if the Tigers' momentum from last season will carry on into this year, despite the loss of some great talent. This October will be the first time Auburn men's basketball team takes the court as a Nike school.
And what's a better place to showcase the new drip than in our home state of Alabama? The team is excited to get things moving at their fall exhibition in Birmingham on October 15th. So tune in and get loud for the start of the 2025-26 season.
Zooming out to the big leagues, Auburn is making waves in the NBA. I don't know about you all, but I'm excited to watch some of our favorite alum repping the New Jerseys this fall.
We want you to be able to keep tabs on all of them, so we thought we would refresh you. Let's start with Morehead State legend Janai Broom, who is now in Philadelphia with the Sixers.
His partner in crime, Dylan Cardwell, with the Kings for his rookie year, and Sharif Cooper recently signed with the Wizards.
And I'm still dreaming about Miles Kelly's 3 against Tennessee, and hopefully Mavericks fans will get some of that out of him too, because that's where he's calling home.
Chaney Johnson is in his LeBron year at 23, and he started his career with the Cavaliers.
The rest of the Auburn alum are hanging steady, with Walker Kessler with the Jazz, Davion Mitchell with the Heat, Isaac Okoro with the Bulls, and Jabari Smith Jr. in Houston with the Rockets.
Get excited for October 21st when the regular season kicks off, and you know which game to pay extra attention to.
When we come back, Eagle Eye insider Micah Farmer will join us in the studio to discuss Auburn football's bye week and what to expect going in to a big-time matchup. Stick with us.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me
Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later. Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. Despite a strong start to the season, the Auburn football team has really struggled as of late to garner any forward momentum. They've fallen in 2 consecutive weeks to both Oklahoma and Texas A&M, and though both of those teams ended up being in the top 10, their next matchup may be their hardest yet. The Georgia Bulldogs, despite a recent loss to that little school across the state from us, are absolutely no slouch. But they'll take their journey into Jordan-Hare to take on the Tigers this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. The dress code, all Auburn, all orange. Our resident sports aficionado, Micah Farmer, joins me now in the studio to talk about this upcoming matchup. Micah, what does Auburn need to do to knock off the Bulldogs?
Well, Brooks, you're going to be absolutely shocked to hear this, but Auburn needs to run the football. We've seen it the last couple weeks with Hugh Freeze talking about the team needs to commit to the run, we need to commit to the run, and he just hasn't on game day, flat out. Against Oklahoma, against A&M, the running backs are not getting enough carries. It seems like he's saying it again this week. Auburn has to run the ball versus Georgia. I completely agree, because this Georgia team, though they have been more vulnerable versus the pass than the run, they can start just keying in on the pass and letting their edge rushers pin their ears back if you show them that you aren't even going to try to run the ball. So get the ball to your running backs, Jeremiah Cobb, Damari Alston. Let them work out of the backfield and let Jackson Arnold settle in a little bit more, which is something Hugh Freeze talked about this week during his press conference. Take a listen.
And truthfully, when we watch the film together, I'd love him to be a little freer, particularly with the playmakers that we have. And there's times I think he probably would be if we could hold up just maybe another half a second. And truthfully, when we watch the film,
completely agree with Freeze on that. Arnold has to just be a little more comfortable in the pocket. You've seen it against Oklahoma and then against A&M. He's freezing a lot, and that's causing these plays to break down. Edge rushers are getting home while he's stuck in the pocket. If the offense is going to move forward, you need to have Jackson Arnold start doing the same. Get out of the pocket, use his legs. Then as far as the defense, Georgia's really been at home running the ball so far this year. Contain that run game. Make Gunnar Stockton throw the ball and beat you. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in just a moment. When he's forced to do that, it's not always a guarantee for the Bulldogs as a Brooks.
No, not at all. And the Georgia team, obviously being so highly ranked, has zero shortage of weapons. So, Micah, who are you looking at in this Georgia game on the other side for the visitors coming in to be a problem for us?
Well, first up, it is Gunnar Stockton, the Georgia quarterback. And we saw versus Tennessee that Stockton was able to really throw the ball well, threw for over 300 yards, had a clutch 4th and long touchdown late in that game to save that game for the Bulldogs. But then the last 2 weeks has struggled to throw versus Alabama, didn't really throw a ton versus Kentucky. So which Gunnar Stockton can you get? I think you really should try to slow down the run game, force Stockton to throw, get the Jordan-Hare crowd after him. I think if you can do that, Georgia will start to become uncomfortable, and you know how well this defense can play when they're on. Let them get after Stockton and make him beat you. For the Georgia defense, C.J. Allen, one of their linebackers, extremely talented. This entire room is talented, but Allen most of all. He has multiple sacks in the year and is second on this team in sacks so far this season. Is also very savvy against the run, great at filling correct gaps, can also play decent coverage. He's their do-it-all linebacker, extremely athletic. You need to know where he is on the field every time when you snap the ball, especially if you're Jackson Arnold. Know where he is, pre-snap, key in, make sure you're not throwing it into his area. Then finally, in the Georgia backfield, it's Chauncey Bowens, their running back. Over 300 yards, multiple touchdowns so far this season. The last 2 games, he's been great. Ran for almost 200 against Kentucky last week and had another very good game versus Alabama the week prior. Had a 40-yard run against the Crimson Tide, But he is an extremely talented player. You're going to need to fill gaps responsibly on the defensive line, get your linebackers into the right spot versus Bowens, because if he gets out into the open field, he's very hard to bring down. Also, if you can slow down that Georgia run game, that's when you put it all on Stockton, make him do it himself, and I think then that's how you get under the skin of this Georgia offense and slow them down.
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting game to watch. And though the record shows a two-game loss streak, some Auburn fans might argue that we're on a bit of a 3-game loss streak, losing to the bye week a bit, because the Auburn University announced that this coming season, the very first game of the year, which had been planned to be against Baylor in Jordan-Hare, has been moved to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. A lot of fans were not happy about it. Micah, what do you think?
I think it's ridiculous. You've scheduled a home and home, not a home in Atlanta. Play a home and home. There are a lot of Baylor fans who are also extremely disappointed they don't get to come to Jordan-Hare. There were a ton of Auburn fans who were disappointed we don't get to host a Power 4 team like Baylor in Jordan-Hare to start the season. And also, think about the city of Auburn for this. Sure, you get $5 million in NIL for going to Atlanta for that, but in current college football, that brings you back, maybe 2 or 3 star players with how expensive these guys can get. And instead of that, it's over $30 million for a game weekend for the city of Auburn. Make your town benefit from these home games. If you're serious about wanting games on college campuses, which is something that this athletic department said a lot, we want games at home. Take the games at home. Don't send them out to Atlanta. It's completely ridiculous, and I think a lot of Auburn fans are rightfully upset with this, Brooks.
Yeah, one of the hard things about working with a guy like Micah is you never really know quite what he's thinking, but nevertheless, it's always a pleasure to have you, Micah. And that's all the time we have for this segment, but don't go anywhere. When we return, myself and Eagle Eye reporter Cohen Dalzell will dive into all things Auburn men's sports in Eagle Eye's Men's Minute.
Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet. And
Emma's going to play us drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Well, Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still has to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm going to drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely going to call right home.
Yo, Scott. Hey, I'm heading out, man. You want to ride? No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom. You know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long. I think I just... Dude, are you okay? You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed. Yeah. I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home. Smart man. Did you see how the dog is...
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. It's time for the Eagle Eye Men's Minute. And starting things off, we have an update from the work Butch Thompson did in the offseason for the men's baseball team.
His work included the additions of Eddie Mardigal in the outfield, who transferred from St. Mary's. He also added Todd Clay, who didn't have to travel far. The infielder was previously at UAB. The last transfer we want to spotlight is Logan Gregario. The catcher is transferring from Northern Illinois.
Not only do we think these players are notable, but according to Baseball America, Auburn has a top 10 recruiting class in the country. A common fear with transfer portals and even new freshmen is how those players are going to mesh with the existing squad. Butch Thompson spoke after the first day of practice on just that.
Roster for day one of starting fall practice with 21 returners and 20 new guys is everybody ready to go. I'm excited about that, and so the push starts today to start figuring things out and who can do what.
We have a long ways to go until their regular season, but we'll be keeping our eyes on that squad throughout their exhibition games and practices. Cohen has an update from a team who just finished an exhibition.
You're right, Kitty. Men's tennis was back on the Plains this past weekend for the Battle on the Plains. The tournament held players from 15 colleges, including Power 4 foes like South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Clemson, and Ole Miss. Vivian Kennel was on scene at the Yarborough Tennis Center, and she will take you through the weekend's festivities.
Auburn men's tennis is gearing up for a big weekend as they host their annual Battle on the Plains at Yarborough Tennis Center.
Over 3 days, Auburn hosted 15 teams from across the Southeast in a mix of singles and doubles competition. Hamza Nasrudinov led the way in singles, finishing undefeated with straight set victories over Sanford, North Alabama, UAB, and a hard-fought 3-set win over South Carolina's Charlie Swing. In doubles, Joey Phillips and Thomas Kennedy captured multiple wins, while Nasrudinov teamed with Jake Kennedy for key victories, including a final round win against South Carolina duo of Swain and Cole Hensraw. Over the 3-day tournament, Auburn won a total of 11 matches out of their 22 played. On Friday, the team picked up 3 wins, Saturday brought 5 wins, and Sunday closed with 3 victories, showing consistent contributions from every player across the weekend. With several matches coming down to tiebreakers and final points, Auburn showcased both resilience and depth, gaining experience and ultimately earning ITA points that will impact their regional and national standings.
Auburn will next send representatives to the ITA Southern Regional Championships, October 9th through the 14th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Vivian Kennel.
Auburn's men's tennis continues this weekend as they head to Tuscaloosa to take place in the ITA Southern Regional Championships at the Alabama Tennis Stadium. After that, they take a few weeks off to prepare for the CCB Collegiate Invitational in Birmingham, October 24th through the 26th. Auburn Swim and Dive participated in a scrimmage against themselves this past weekend as they prepare for the upcoming fall swim and dive season. The orange and blue meet allowed for many to see the Tigers in action at the James E. Martin Aquatic Center and meet the new teams for this year, including 21 new Tigers. Campbell Perry was at the intra-squad meet and can give us the rundown.
Auburn Swim and Dive kicked off their season with some friendly competition. The Tigers hosted their annual Orange and Blue Meet, an inter-squad battle that gives fans a preview of what's to come.
The countdown to Auburn Swim and Dive's 2025 season officially starts here. The annual Orange and Blue Meet splits the Tigers into 2 squads, giving the coaches a closer look at lineups and the athletes a chance to make a statement. Team Blue was off to an early start, taking home the win in both the men's and women's 200 medley relays, but an impressive win followed from Orange in the women's 200 freestyle. On the diving side, Talon Blackmon had an incredible dive from 3 meters for Team Orange. Team Blue took home the win today, but all these Tigers did a fantastic job in the pool.
From the first dive to the final lap, the Orange and Blue Meet is just the beginning. Auburn starts its regular season on October 10th against West Florida, and this meet is just a sign that the Tigers are ready to race and make waves this season. That's all for Eagle Eye. I'm Campbell Perry.
Auburn Swim and Dive's men's and women's teams both begin the year ranked as the 20th best team in the land. After both teams finished last season at the NCAA championships for both men and women respectively, the teams will have many opportunities to move upwards as the season moves forward. The first and second of these opportunities come this weekend as the Tigers host West Florida on Friday, October 10th. Select Tigers from both teams travel to Dallas for the SMU Invite on Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th. Back at the desks, they have trivia for you on a team that is looking to build on their performance from last year.
Cohen, the women's equestrian team is typically a dominant force, but last year's heartbreaker at Nationals has them entirely refocused. And let me just say, their opener was electric. We have more on that after the break, but before that, I have a trivia question for all of y'all. Which Auburn freshman earned Most Outstanding Performer in her collegiate debut at Flat? Was it A, Caroline Olson, B, Mara Clennon, C, Sandy Smith, or D, Emerson Ricketts? We'll have the answer for you in Eagle Eye's Women's Watch when we come back.
My parents weren't fluent in English, so in school, I had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before the break, Brooks asked which Auburn freshman earned most outstanding performer in her collegiate debut in flat. Is it A, Caroline Olson, B, Mara Clennon, C, Sandy Smith, or D, Emerson Ricketts? The correct answer is A, Caroline Olson. What a way to start her career with the Tigers. Most outstanding performer in flat and her first time competing on the Plains. The number 4 Auburn equestrian team faced off against number 8 Baylor this past Saturday, October 4th, and they came out with a bang. The team won 16-2, debuting their 2025-2026 season off in a dominant manner.
The Tigers won all 4 events and swept the most outstanding performer honors in victory. Up next, the Tigers host Barry on October 17th, and you won't want to miss it.
I have a sneaky suspicion that these Lady Tigers might move up the rankings. But Cohen, I hear you have the scoop on a team who is clawing their way to a national rankings for the first time this season.
And Kitty, they are right there. Auburn volleyball inched closer to the top 25 this week after receiving votes in the poll last Monday. The Tigers now have received 10 votes to be in the top 25, showing that their winning ways are catching eyes nationwide. Auburn volleyball started off the week with a good chance to push themselves into the top 25 as they faced the number 23 Florida Gators on the road last Thursday. The Tigers and Gators split the first 2 sets with both teams looking like they wanted this match badly. Florida won set 3 and forced a must-win set for Auburn, which they fought hard in, pushing it to extra points before falling 27-25 in Gainesville. Auburn's block looked ferocious with Kate Mansfield picking up 6 blocks and the team picking up 14. Auburn also hit better than the Gators, hitting 280 compared to the Florida 271. Lauren Dreves also had a monster night for Auburn, recording 19 kills on 381 hitting. Despite their best efforts, however, a well-spread-out Gator attack and 14 blocks of their own kept Auburn at bay and took a big one from Auburn, 3-1. After the frustrating loss to Florida, the Tigers stayed on the road as they headed to Oxford, Mississippi to take on Ole Miss. Auburn dominated the match on the road as they earned a 3-0 sweep of the Rebels behind a powerful block. The block was once again spearheaded by Kate Mansfield, who racked up 5 blocks in the match and forced Rebels hitters wide all afternoon. The Tigers held Ole Miss to just .139 hitting. Liz Markovska and Lauren Dreves provided much of the attack for Auburn as they combined for 18 kills. Belle Zimmerman added 6 herself, and Auburn capitalized on the Rebels' mistakes for their 12th win of the season. Auburn volleyball hosts Vanderbilt for the first time in 45 years this Friday night at Neville Arena. First serve is at 6 p.m. The Tigers hope to defend their 6-0 record at home. Concessions prices will be reduced as well, so it's a matchup you don't want to miss. Now from the court to our first softball diamond action of the season. Auburn softball starts off their fall ball campaign at Jane B. Moore Field this Friday, October 10th at 4 p.m. The Tigers will take on Gulf Coast State. Auburn softball begins their second season under co-head coaches Chris and Kate Malvo and returns star sophomore Annalie Adams after her terrific freshman campaign. Adams was All-SEC first team and second team freshman All-American last year and looks to improve on her cabinet this season. S.J. Guerin was a huge addition to the Tigers' pitching staff last season as the lefty struck out 109 batters in 190 2/3 innings in the Circle last season. Well, they quite haven't had this match quite yet. Kitty has more on a squad that was in action earlier this morning.
For a women's golf update, the Lady Tigers headed to Illinois for the Women's Invitational at Medina Country Club in Illinois. For day one, Auburn women's golf finished 4 under as a team. A notable standout is sophomore Balma Davalos, shooting an impressive 67 in the first. Heading into day 2, the Lady Tigers absolutely heated up, finishing 10 under par to boost them up the leaderboard. With Davalos first on the board, the orange and blue were in a great spot to end the second day. Now onto the third and final round, the Tigers wrapped up day 3, hitting +1 as a team. Don't fret, Auburn was still able to finish 3rd overall for the tournament. Balma Davalos ended up teeing for 2nd on the board. What an impressive couple of days for Auburn women's golf. Heading over to a different green, let's talk soccer.
Thanks, Kitty. Defensive midfielder Hayden Colson has been an absolute force for head coach James Armstrong and the Auburn soccer team lately. Her performance against LSU earned her some recognition as she was none of the problems in the Tigers' 3-1 loss to the Bayou Bengals. Colson played all 90 minutes of the match and completed 84% of her passes. She also beefed up the defensive back line with 5 interceptions. Her toughness and IQ have been huge upsides for Auburn all season. Auburn traveled to Nashville Thursday to take on 24th-ranked Vanderbilt, and their struggles continued over from the final half against LSU last week as they fell 1-0. The Tigers looked outmatched in the first half, with Vanderbilt controlling the game, eventually leading to the opening goal by Vanderbilt's Sydney Watts, who scored in the 13th minute. Auburn was able to get back on track in the second half, but couldn't find a goal to tie it up, with their best chance coming on a free kick from freshman Clara Casajuana. This past Sunday, Auburn came home to host number 10 South Carolina at the Auburn Soccer Complex. The Tigers once again let points slip away against an elite opponent as the Gamecocks scored a late goal to split the points 1-1. Aaron Fleury was once again the goal scorer for the Tigers as she converted a penalty in the 29th minute. Olivia Woodson went down in the box and drew the foul. After a quick VAR check, Auburn was awarded the spot kick. Auburn defended this lead vigorously for the rest of the first half and most of the second, holding down a dynamic Gamecock attack. However, after a cross came off the arm of Auburn defender Tyler Clyburn, South Carolina was awarded a penalty, which Kyler Zuloff fired into the back of the net to equalize. Coach James Armstrong emphasized the quality and effort of the Tigers squad despite the trouble closing games. Auburn soccer will attempt to gain some much-needed points in the second half of conference play as they travel to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama in the Iron Bowl of Soccer this Friday, October 10th. First kick for the match will take place at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Alabama Soccer Stadium. Now, you may not be able to handle the ball with your hands in soccer, but maybe you can handle the trivia question that Kitty has for you during the commercial break.
This one might make you think back in time. Your second dose of weekly Auburn sports trivia is here. This time coming from women's basketball, an alumni whose jersey hangs in Neville. Dewani Bonner is the all-time leader in what stat line for the WNBA playoffs? Is it A, points, B, assists, C, three-pointers made, or D, rebounds? We will have the answer right after a short break. When we welcome you all back, we will start our last but certainly not least segment of tonight's show, Trending Tigers.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. When we left off, Kitty promised you an answer to our second trivia question, which was, DeWanna Bonner is the all-time leader in what stat line for the WNBA playoffs? Was it A, points, B, assists, C, three-pointers made, or D, rebounds? The answer? Letter D, rebounds. We're certainly proud to have a former Tiger leading the charge in setting records in the WNBA.
It doesn't just stop at rebounds. She is also the second all-time leader in three-pointers made during the WNBA playoffs. The Mercury is currently competing in the WNBA Finals, and all of us will be rooting for her. Brooks, I have got to say, her boots in this graphic, I mean, I want a pair.
Kitty, it sounds like you might be ready to start our Trending Tigers segment.
The softball team is moving off the diamond and into the classroom. The team made a special appearance to sing the fight song. I wouldn't mind a softball a cappella performance myself. Another team stepping out of their typical arena, the equestrian team hosted a carnival this past Saturday. Kids got the chance to ride horses and play in a bouncy house.
Now moving on to some Auburn football Trending Tigers. Kieran Crawford has been absolutely electric this season on a very, very strong Auburn defense. As you can see here, he is tied for second in the SEC in sacks and fourth in the SEC in tackles for loss. Moving along to a special Auburn presentation, the university announced that they would be launching a documentary on the 2010 National Championship season called Unspoken 2010. It'll be streaming October 6th, and let me just say, the promo that they showed, absolutely incredible. You're not going to want to miss it.
That smile, Cam. He's got Watson, Kirkin. Touchdown, Auburn! Touchdown, Auburn! They never whistled it dead. He never went down. He just kept going.
Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Why are you recording? I'm not. You're sketching. You're recording. The red light's on.
And you got a long last name, dog. I ain't gonna even lie to you, dog. I'll be like 6 months before I was able to spell all that right there.
Okay, you want me to tell that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of forgotten about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do remember.
I remember that. I'm seeing it. I remember it a little bit fuzz, but it's there.
Oh, God, I forgot his name.
I do remember this. I think we went into a gas station.
In the famous words of Adele, rumor has it that...
What, sorry? We did.
Wow. Downtown.
Hey, and you can quote that.
You're kidding me. That I did not know.
That's good. I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Did Tim corroborate it?
Well, I will tell you this. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need anybody to say that.
he's lying.
Okay, I want to hear Coach Chiswick's perspective on that when this comes out.
On that note, that's all we have time for today. For more Sports Night in Auburn and Eagle Eye Sports, follow our Instagram and Twitter pages. Make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube and tune in every single week. My name is Kitty Diamond.
And for all of us here in the Eagle Eye studio, Cohen and Micah, and for everyone behind the camera, our producer is Sophia Weber. I'm Brooks Crew. This has been Sports Night in Auburn. Good night, and War Eagle.